Hey everybody, welcome back to part 2 of Deck Profile Weekly, where in this video we're going to be doing a debut video for Bluestone Dragon Maelstrom, which I'm finally happy I got this. So, sorry if I don't sound very enthusiastic about this deck. It's just me and Maelstrom had a bad history before, where I constantly lost to Maelstrom and I got my ass handed to me because there was no way I could block out the multiple attacks that this deck can do. Now that it's in D series, it's my obligation to actually review the deck, and even though it sounds kind of cringy, and maybe my whole voice sounds cringy, but you know what, that's just my opinion right there. Let's just cross that path before we come to it, okay? Now, this deck is now belonging to Stoicheia, and is still under the power of Aqua Force. But this is the time where the future of the visions of the past, where Leon might share some wisdom, or something else might have happened, just like how Vanguard did If, you know, where Emmy and the Fairy did a card of the week kind of thing, I guess. So these are kind of like the visions of the past. So, and I don't know if that sounds kind of right. Spiritual wise, if the spirits of the past Vanguards, who are probably long since dead, came to the future to help out with Yu and his friends to fight over some kind of evil. Like, what if Gize can collaborate with Grivel Gillis? You know, just an example right there, because we know that Gize is long since dead. It's all in the ancient past, but there is the chance that a god can come back if we're lucky. But yeah, anyways. Let's hop into the video once more. Sorry for that little bit of a storytelling, but I figure I like to share. So in this video, we're doing a ride line for Bluestone Dragon Maelstrom, home of the Navy Cadets, the Navy Generals of the Seas of Planet Cray. But I think his cousin, or his fellow brother, his son, cousin, flagship, or Flagberg, is now taking over the Navy SEAL part. So Maelstrom may be gone, but his soul still lives on in Flagberg, if that makes any sense. So for right line, we are playing the classic Officer Cadet Erikk. We're playing Tier Knight Theo, and his new skill is, when this is rolled upon by a unit with Aqua Force for its clan, search your deck for up to one Blue Star Armada card, reveal it and put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. During your turn, if you Vanguard with Maelstrom in its card name, this unit gets 5k power. Honestly, this is just like a searcher for Kyanite Blue in Aurora Battle Princess. So it searches out for a set order. For grade 2, we are playing Marine General of Restless Ties Algos. And the ironic thing is about this card, I actually have the sleeves for it as its main right deck. So that's the funny part to me in my eyes. Anyways, his new skill is, when this unit is rolled upon by a unit with only Aqua Force in its clan, look at the top 7 cards of your deck. Choose up to one card with only Aqua Force for its clan, or a Tier Dragon from among them. Call to rear guard and shuffle your deck. When this unit attacks, if it is the fourth battle of the turn or more, and you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Maelstrom in its card name, until the end of that battle, this unit gets 5,000 power and an auto skill. When this unit attacks hits a Vanguard, you may draw a card. Which shouldn't be a problem for some people who are indeed Aqua Force users. So that's a little tea right there. Next, for the final one, we're playing Bluestone Dragon Maelstrom. And his new skill is active skill, 1 turn only. Discard a card from hand. Choose a unit card with only Aqua Force for its clan, or a Tier Dragon from your soul, and call to rear guard, and it gets a skill. When this unit attacks, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, and it is the first battle of this turn, Counterblast 1, and stand this unit until the end of the turn, and at the end of the turn, put it into your soul again. Okay? When this unit attacks a Vanguard, if it is the 4th battle of the turn or more, draw a card. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. So, okay, this may sound kind of cringy right here, but it's supposed to be a small joke, but will the rear guard in the background please blow up? I don't know, that seems a little cringeworthy, but right there, but yeah. But yeah, that is the confirmed ride line for Leon Soryu. Now for the main deck. Now, I did tell you guys in my last video that I decided to go back to the 15k heal triggers because as much as I love the 10k's effect triggers, some of them actually, most of them didn't work well for me, and they're just in there because it's a power boost. That's all it is. But here's the new triggers. So for heals, we're playing 3 copies of Battle Siren Dorcea from the Festival Collection, which, if it were up to me, I would have got more of it. But everybody dug into it. So, and since I wasn't a few who purchased a case with them, I only had the last to say. But you know what? That's okay. For the last trigger, we are playing Zypsophila Fairy Archer because this is the only heal trigger that actually has a good skill and it works in my favor, rather than the other 3 did. Next, we're playing 2 copies of Serene, Maiden, Lena for draws. 7 criticals, which is 3 copies of Dual Pressure Dragon, leaving it to that Maelstrom Teal Dragon feel to the deck. 4 copies of Alana. 2 copies of Frenzied Heiress for that extra 20k shield. And 1 copy of Blessfavor. So, this is my confirmed trigger lineup. This has always been a staple for me in all my decks because it's the best way for me. Everybody has their different preferences. Some people don't like fronts and put 4 draws, 4 crits, whatever you want to feel comfortable with. But the way I see it is that I love this style right here. It will always work for me depending on what the situation might be. So, it all comes down to your player preference ideals, and I can't speak today because apparently I cannot speak English. But yeah, that is it for the trigger lineup. Now for grade 1s, we are playing a good chunk. I'm not gonna lie, there's a big chunk right here. Let me just make sure I count this correctly before I debuted it. So there's 16 grade 1s in the deck. So now for the first grade 1, we're playing 4 copies of Wheel Assault. Because it's just an Aqua Force feel, it's a classic. And his new skill is, for the rear guard, at the end of battle this unit boosted, if you have Vanguard with Maelstrom in its card name, Soul Blast 1, choose 2 of your rear guards and swap the positions. Which I require more practice of if someone's willing to help me through it, you know. The next one, we're playing 4 copies of Tier 9 Emilios. Now, I've seen people play maybe 2 or 3 of him, but I like his effects, so if you play him correctly, you may have a chance to do a play-off of him, a playset. And he's from the Set 8 collection. So everything from the Maelstrom deck here is from the Set 8 collection. So that's the best part of it. When it's placed on rearguard with your other rearguard, grade 1 or less rearguard, so it has to be in the same column as that unit. Soul Blast 1, draw a card, and this unit gets 5k power into the turn. You can do a grade 1 rush if you really wanted to. I think that might be a good option. Or option 1, option 2, depending on what tactic you want to use. Next, we're playing 4 copies of Prize Trident. He's basically your counter charger for the deck. And it does require some counter blasting, mostly Soul Blast, but it looks like you can use it as a backup in case countercharging is a thing. When your other unit attacks, if it is a 5th battle this turn, put this unit into your soul and countercharge 1. Now, granted, there might be a chance if I learn to control this deck properly, I might make the 5th attack. But for right now, even if I did, he's just there for good support, and he's also good help for Maelstrom. For the other ones, we're playing 3 copies of the Custodial Dragon Complete Guards and 1 Elementaria Sanctitude. I was lucky enough to find a few more copies of this card in my inventory box because this card is a good thing for people who does triple drives or Grade Force. You know, it's just a good card to have in case. I know a lot of people want to have a Reckless piece in it. I still need to get. I had a chance to get actually a few of my Reckless pieces, but I didn't. So that's the downside to it. But yeah, that is it for the Grade 1 lineup. For the grade 2, we're only playing 4 copies of Tidal Assault. Now, if you all remember the topic and the controversy with this card, way back then when Legion or Stride was a thing, people got really heated over other Aquaforce users that has not used Tidal Assault in their decks, saying that Tidal Assault is meant to be in the deck because it's essential, and it's important, way more important than other cards in there. Those are people who are usually doing like the bandwagon decks, and because it's competitive play when you expect. I believe Tidal Assault, speaking of which, has the same effect from the old classic. I don't know. I never gained that card, so I never used it. But in this one, I have a chance now to use it. When this unit attacks, Soul Blast 1. Choose one of your Vanguard with Maelstrom in its card name, and it gets 5,000 power in a turn. At the end of battle, this unit is attacked if it is the second battle of this turn, and if you have a stand rear Vanguard with Maelstrom in its card name, Counterblast 1 and stand this unit. So, he's the one guy you need to make the 5th attack happen, if you're really lucky. It might be an issue because Wheel Assault, or I think, is it Wheel Assault? I'm brain dead here, I'm sorry. Yep, it's Wheel Assault that will help you change out the multiple attacks at a turn. So, if you're lucky to get 5th attacks, or 5 or 6, that'd be great, because your opponent cannot guard an Armada that big. So, we'll see what happens when I start playing this deck at my locals again. Now, for grade 3s, we are playing only 11 grade 3s in this deck. So we are playing 3 more copies of Maelstrom for the Persona Ride ability, 4 copies of Shortline Raised Dragon. This is from the Set 8 collection from Maelstrom. His skill is, when this unit attacks, if it is the 4th battle of this turn or more, if your order zone has a blue Storm Armada, this unit gets 10,000 power in the end of battle. And after battle, put this unit into your soul. So you have to have a blue Storm Armada on the field to do that. And if you can actually do it to get the 4th attack, great. That's all it requires. Now, I know people can tell me that this deck is worthless and you should play Inlet Pulse Dragon, but every grade 3 Vanguard has a partner. Shortline is Maelstrom's, while Inlet Pulse is also for Flagship, the cousin. So they might swap around. Maybe I'll think about it, but we'll see what happens. We'll cross that bridge when we actually come to it. For the final grade 3, we are playing 4 copies of Judgment Maelstrom. This is the set order called the Blue Storm Armada. Now, the requirement is this. Very quite simple. Play this if you have a Vanguard with Maelstrom in its card name. That's all you need to do. When this card is put into your order zone, activate all the effects below. Choose up to 1 unit card with only Aquaforce in its clan or a tier dragon from your drop and superior call it. Choose one of your rear guards and it gets 5,000 power in a turn for each other Judgment Maelstrom in your order zone. So you can keep on stacking Judgment Maelstrom until you get like 20k if you're lucky for the boosts. That's probably why. This deck, like I said, is also another heavy hitter if you can get the numbers correctly. So, like how Bruce does Final Rush, where strategy-wise, you need to play strategy on the Navy SEAL kind of deck. And I could totally see a Navy SEAL playing this deck when he gets extremely bored or competitive. But that is it for the deck profile videos for Deck Profile Weekly. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and it's very happy to know that I finally made videos for you guys that I can be proud of, and I can finally catch up what I've lost for over the few months. Very happy for that. And yeah, I can't really say too much. I'm actually very proud of what I'm doing right now, and this is what makes me happy doing. This is what a pleasure of mine can do. I've always indulged Vanguard. I love it more than Yu-Gi-Oh!, believe it or not, and that's why I don't do much, or at least any more Yu-Gi-Oh! Content, because Yu-Gi-Oh! I've lost respect for, because a lot of people ruined the game for a lot of reasons. I'm just happy that this deck has finally come to me, manifest with me. It cost a lot of trades, but it was all well worth it in the long run. So I'm proud of what I have right now. So that is it for the video, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the content I do create, or wish for me to improve a little bit more, let me know in the comments down below. And if you like the channel that I have, and like I said, more content, be sure to subscribe to Siren Frost. Leave a like, comment down below, thumbs up for all the videos, you know, all the good stuff. Rate if you really need to. And if you guys have any questions, be sure to leave a comment down below, and I'd be more than happy to answer it. It's not a big deal. So, as always, you guys, stay outside, stay safe out there tonight. Make good choices and have a good summer. If you're in somewhere that's like really hot, get an umbrella, get an umbrella drink. Keep yourself cool down. Make sure you get not overly moist. I know that sounds a very horrible word to say, but it's overly moist. Just have a great summer while you still can, for some of you who are younger and going back to high school, going to school soon. So, as always, you guys, I've been your host, Siren Frost. See you guys next week for 2 more deck profile videos, where I'll actually be reviewing Shododo Joji and Archite. So, be sure to stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great night, you guys. Bye.